Hello guys, this is part 2. We're going to be adding and subtracting mixed numbers. So let's share our screen. And let's review real quickly what a mixed number is. So I'm going to go down. A mixed number is when I have a whole number and a fraction. So this is a mixed number, 7 wholes and 7 eighths. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be adding and subtracting mixed numbers. So before we get started, we need to go over the rules for adding and subtracting fractions, because remember, a mixed number is a whole number and a fraction. Remember, when we're adding and subtracting fractions, my models need to be the same. Number 2, you don't add or subtract the denominators. Just like the Taylor Swift song, we are never, ever, ever, ever going to add or subtract those denominators. And number 3, the most important and golden rule of all, the denominators have to be the same. If they're not the same, we're stuck. We can't do anything. So let's get started. When I'm adding and subtracting mixed numbers, I am going to be doing 2 parts. I'm going to deal with the whole number and I'm going to deal with the fraction, okay? Now, we've been adding whole numbers since kindergarten. So we can add this pretty quickly. So let's focus right now on the fractions, okay? So I'm adding 1 and 1/6 plus 2 and 1/4. Well, I know 2 plus 1 is 3, so I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to focus on the fraction first. I have 1/6 plus 1/4. That golden rule comes up again. Are my denominators the same? No, they're not equal. So I need to figure out a way to get them to be the same. So what am I going to do? I am going to find the least common denominator of 6 and 4. So I'm going to make a T-chart. And I would put 6 and 4. 6 times 1 is 6. 6 times 2 is 12. 6 times 3 is 18. 6 times 4 is 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. And 4 times 3 is 12. Now remember, I want to find the least common denominator. If we look at our chart, that number is going to be 12. That number is going to be 12. So that means I need to rewrite my mixed number where the denominator is going to be 12, okay? So what I'm going to do is the following. So I can just, So I'm going to rewrite this with a denominator of 12. So instead of 6, I'm not going to have 12. But I'm going to do the same thing for my 1/4. So 12, let me fix this because I'm having some technical difficulties. Okay, so what we're going to do, notice how our whole numbers stayed the same. I'm not changing those. I'm just worried about my fractions. So I need to get 1/6. Oh my God. I need to get 1/6. And I need to split this up into 12 equal pieces. Well, I know 6 times 2 gives me 12. So that means I'm going to have to split this picture, each 6, into 2 equal pieces. And when I'm done, I should have 12 total pieces. So right now, if I'm on track, I should have 6. And I do. I'm going to keep going. Keep going. Voila. Keep going. Okay, bam, I got it. I have 6 pieces. And if I look here, I know to get from 6 to 2, I got to multiply times. 6 to 12, I have to multiply times 2. So if I do a cross, I'm going to do the same thing, times 2. I have 2. And if I look right here, I have 2 pieces. So it worked out. So 1 and 1 6 is the same as 1 and 2 12ths. I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to go from 4 pieces to 12 pieces. So how do I go from that? Well, 4 times 3 gives me 12. That means I need to split each one of my fourths into 3 equal pieces. Okay. So I'm going to split that up. Too many pieces. 3. Three. Voila! If I count, I have 12 total pieces. Now, again, how did I get from 4 to 12? Times 3. How am I going to get from 1 to here? Times 3. Now, if I count here, I have 3 pieces, and 3 times 1 is 3. So now I can add because my denominators are the same. So 1 and 2 twelfths plus 2 and 3 twelfths will be equal to what? Well, that's going to be 5 twelfths. And we've already added our whole numbers. 2 plus 1 is 3. So my answer is going to be 3 wholes and 5 twelfths. Okay? Let's do some subtraction and then we'll be done. I need to make this way bigger because I can't read that. And make this also way bigger because I can't see anything. Okay. Now my picture, okay. Okay, yeah, sorry about that. So I have 1 and 2/3 minus 3/5. Now, we already know how to deal with a whole number. 1 minus 0 is 0. 1 minus 0 is not 0. 1 minus 0 is 1. So I'm going to focus right now on my fraction. So 2/3 and 3/5 are obviously do not have the same denominator. Here I have 3 pieces, and here I have 5. I need to find a way to make these the same. So we're going to look for our least common denominator. I'm going to make me a T-chart, and I'm going to put 3 and 5. So 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 4 is 12. 3 times 5 is 15. Okay, let's do 5. Remember, I want to number the first number they have in common, the smallest one. 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 2 is 10. And 5 times 3 is, oh my God, ding, ding, 15. I found my first number. My new denominator, my least common denominator is 15. That's the smallest number that 3 and 5 have in common. That means my new denominator is going to be 15. So I'm going to rewrite this where I have a denominator of 15. Okay. Oh. So let me see if I can fix this where they, yes, it works a little bit better, guys. Okay. Now, I need to split this up and do 15 pieces. Well, I have 3 big pieces, and I know 3 times 5 gives me 15. That means I need to split each one of these pieces into 5 equal pieces. So 5, 5, and 5. Okay, we have 15 pieces. So if you were multiplying, you figured out that 3 times 5 gave you 15. So 2 times 5 should give you what? 10. And if you count, I have 10 pieces that are shaded in yellow. So 1 2/3 is the same as 1 and 10/15. Now I'm going to do the same thing at the bottom. Now remember, I want 15. So what times 5 gives me 15? 3. So that means I'm going to split each fifth into 3 equal pieces. Voila! Okay, so I have 15 pieces now, and I can even count how many pieces are shaded. So if you've counted, you know, if you're multiplying, you should get the same answer. I know from 5 to 15, I need to multiply times 3. So from 3, if I do it on the bottom, I do it on top. So 3 times 3 shall be 9. Ooh, this 3 looks horrible. It's like a big, that 3 looks worse. Whew. Small eraser, let's see. Okay, let's try that again. Times 3, woo. That is going to be 9. If you count, you have 9 pieces. So now we can subtract. 10/15 minus 9/15 is going to be equal to 1/15. And 1 minus 0 is 1. So I have 1 and 1/15. Woo! That is how you add and subtract mixed numbers.